gentlemen, I would like to thank one of my subscribers, JG, for sending this article. It's dated August 2nd, 2018. Donald Trump immigration policy puts rural America in danger. And this came out in USA Today. Rural Americans who overwhelmingly voted for Trump apparently thought they were dealing a blow to a government they believed had forgotten them. What they did, though, in the midst of a violent crime spike in rural America, was deal a kneecap to themselves. How? They voted for a president whose unleashing of immigration and customs enforcement could be silencing an immigrant community that would otherwise report crime and help drive out an element that putting rural America in danger. The 911 call that nearly got him deported, and this is Wilson Rodriguez. 6 months ago, the father of three dialed 911 on a trespasser after a series of break-ins attempts. So barely an hour later, he was swept by ICE. Okay. So what they're saying ultimately, because these immigrants are living in rural areas, many of them will not report crime because of fear of ICE coming in on them. Okay, so the case got national attention. He's now back with his family in Washington. But, you can't be surprised about that. ICE is really sweeping a lot of people for obvious reasons. If you came to my hangout, you'll understand why ICE is doing the things that they're doing. As for, let's go down here to rural crime rates on the rise. For the first time in a decade, the violent crime rate in rural America rose above the national average. Right now, the crime in the country, the biggest crime going on in America is happening in the rural area, not the urban areas. The urban areas are actually, things are getting better in the urban areas. And that's a big reason why it's being gentrified now, because things are a lot more relaxed in the urban area and less crime. But in the rural area, everything is going through the roof. That rise, the Wall Street Journal reported in May, was buoyed by the heroin and opioid plague inundating rural communities. But also rising in those communities is the immigration population, who could provide much needed assistance in fighting that crime wave if Trump's crackdown had not put roadblocks in place that have the potential to drive those immigrants underground. Last year, Tom K. Wong, a professor of political science at the University of California, San Diego, analyzed FBI crime data and found that crime rates were lower in sanctuary cities and counties than non-sanctuary areas. The Marshall Project made a similar finding in its analysis of data. Wong's analysis included rural sanctuary areas, which had more than 1,000 crimes per 100,000 people versus nearly 2,000 crimes per 100,000 people in non-sanctuary rural areas. He also conducted a survey of undocumented Mexican nationals in San Diego County, 76% of which is considered rural. It revealed, among other things, that only 3.4% of them would back away from reporting a crime if the cops were not working with ICE, compared with the 64.2% who stated they would be less likely to report crimes if law enforcement was working with ICE. Since 1990, more immigrants, largely from Mexico and Central America, have been settling into rural environs of the Midwest and Southeast. In fact, a 2018 Pew Research Center analysis found that were were it not for 600,000 immigrants moving into the nation's rural counties between 2000 and 2014, those counties, which continue to bleed their native-born population, would have lost 950,000 residents. A 2016 study in the Journal of Ethnicity and Criminal Justice note that immigrants in most communities also bring a propensity to strengthen social institution that leads to drops in crime. As deportation fears force Latinos into silence, rural communities grappling with opioids and heroin crime spikes won't only be poorer and sicker for it, they'll be more dangerous too. So there you go. Many of the immigrants are going into rural areas, but see, those are rural areas that are sanctuary cities and counties. You know, it's amazing how these folks come across the border illegally, and they are more of a protected class in this country than the Black people that were born and raised here and been here for generations. They got more protection than us. That is crazy, but this is the way it is. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.